Good evening, everybody, and welcome once again inside the turf field here at Milford High School, as Milford TV is happy to bring you coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics. This is Tim Coet on the call as we get started with week 2 of the high school football season. And tonight, your Milford Scarlet Hawks home for the second straight week to open up the season. And tonight, they once again welcome in a non-conference opponent in the Wellesley Raiders. Milford comes into the matchup tonight with a record of 1-0 on the season, coming off of a dominant victory against Bridgewater Raynham last week. Wellesley also comes in with a 1-0 record. Wellesley with a victory themselves in week 1 of the season against Longmeadow High School. So these teams enjoying some non-conference competition early on the season. This is the second year in a row that these two teams have met up. And once again, it's in week 2 of the season, just as it was a season ago. We'll get into some of the particulars on that game last season between these two teams as the broadcast goes along. But you could not have asked for a better start to the season last week than what Milford was able to enjoy. Again, just flat-out domination against Bridgewater Raynham, a 42-0 victory. The defense barely allowing the Trojans inside Milford territory all night long. And for the Scarlet Hawks, they were a pass-heavy offense at times last season, but last week they ended up using their running game to do the bulk of the work, to the tune of 2 rushing touchdowns in the first quarter. Nate Scudo got the scoring started with a 5-yard rushing touchdown. Then Evan Cornelius scored the first of 3 rushing touchdowns in the first quarter with a 13-yard plunge to give Milford an early lead. Cornelius would score again in the second quarter. We'd get a Rougeau rushing touchdown in the third quarter, and then Cornelius and then backup quarterback Owen Callahan would get in on the offense with a rushing touchdown on a nice fake in the fourth quarter. And again, it all totaled up to a 42-0 victory for Milford last week against Bridgewater Raynham. So back in non-conference competition this week against Wellesley. And then as we continue to move forward in this high school football season, Milford will have another good test in one of Wellesley's division opponents next week, where they will travel on the road for the first time this season, taking on the Natick Redhawks in Natick coming up on September 23rd next week. So 3 straight weeks of non-conference competition before Milford returns home later on this month to face their first Kelly Rex division opponent in the Attleboro Bombardiers. That will be on the very last day of the month of September, on September 30th. We'll take a quick peek at the updated Hockomock League standings as we have some time here as we settle in on the broadcast here tonight. Right now, no teams have played any league competition yet in the early days of this season. All of the Kelly Rex teams walked away with victories last week. So everyone, Attleboro, Franklin, KP, Milford, North Attleboro, and Taunton, all starting the season at 1-0. Right now, Milford, the top scoring offense through 1 week of football season competition, scoring those 42 points last week against Bridgewater Raynham. Down in the Davenport division, everyone victorious last week with the exception of the Foxborough Warriors, who fell in a contest against the Taunton Tigers. So it's been a good start for the most part to this season for all of the Hockomock League teams. And again, as we get deeper into this season, it should be fascinating to see how these teams end up matching up head-to-head. Plenty of tough league competition on the horizon for the Scarlet Hawks. That matchup against Attleboro on the 30th. They'll be home again on October 7th against North Attleboro. And then, of course, the game that everyone is eagerly anticipating, the matchup against the King Philip Warriors, which will take place in week 6 of the season on October 14th, right here under the lights of Milford High School. And then they will take on a non-conference opponent in Barnstable High School before they round out their regular season competition against the Franklin Panthers on October 28th. But as you can see, very little work on the road between now and when the playoff seedings are determined. As a matter of fact, after Milford plays in Natick next week, they will have 4 straight weeks at home in those matchups against Attleboro, North Attleboro, King Philip, and Barnstable. So only 2 road games during this pre-playoff part of the schedule for the Scarlet Hawks. So they will have an opportunity to really use the home field advantage to fuel them through the early part of the season. We're still about 5 minutes away from the scheduled start time of this game tonight, and waiting for the captains to head out to the middle of the field to do the coin toss. Scarlet Hawks with a solid week of practice, and again, you just saw how well this coaching staff had this team prepared for week 1 against Bridgewater Raynham. Again, head coach Dale Olson, defensive coordinator Dana Olson, offensive coordinator Matt Cornelius, making sure this team is prepared each and every week, along with all of the coaches on the staff. Just an incredibly hard-working staff on this Milford High School coaching staff. On the other side of the ball, for Wellesley High School, they are under the direction of their head coach Jesse Davis. Their offensive coordinator is Jim Everhart, and their defensive coordinator is Liam Sullivan. Right now, both teams perched on the sidelines, just waiting to get this game started. One of the interesting factors of last week was the absence of one of Milford's biggest weapons in their passing offense, as Isaiah Pantalone was not available for the game last week in street clothes. And just doing a quick scan down at field level, I do believe that Isaiah is suited up indeed. You can see him walking now in front of the cheerleaders, getting loose and ready to go. So we will see number 5 suited up and out on the field for this game, and so that can only help a passing offense that at times looked a bit out of sync last week, but certainly something that this team can tighten up, and having the depth that they expected to have at the start of the season with Isaiah suited up for this game tonight will only help. And so right now the captains have made their way out to the middle of the field, so we'll have the coin toss coming up here as the captains right now get some final instructions from the officiating crew down at field level, and then we'll give you the results of the coin toss before we take a quick pause here for the national anthem. Milford's 5 captains out there on the field right now. Evan Cornelius, Mason Baldick, Jacob Lagore, Jaden Archibald, and Keith Lee. Get that coin toss here. And so we got the signal that we will have a team receiving to start the game, but we didn't get a clear picture yet of who won the coin toss, and everyone getting put into position now. So Milford wins the coin toss, and they will receive to start this football game. So we will see the first, and now both of streaming live on TV. We've already got viewers starting to line up for this game tonight. Happy to have you with us. Again, we'll take a pause very quickly here for the national anthem, and then we'll get this one started. It is Milford versus Wellesley, and the kickoff is next. Stay with us here on Milford TV.
Performed this evening by the Scarlet Marching Band.
An outstanding performance once again from the Scarlet Hawks Marching Band, and now it is time to get this game started. The Scarlet Hawks taking on the Wellesley Raiders. Wellesley operating out of the Cary division of the Bay State Conference. Milford, of course, part of the Kelly Rex division of the Hockomock League. And Milford out to receive, and everyone figuring out what side of the field they're starting on. A little confusion there to get things going. And it looks like we will see Isaiah Pantalone in his season debut, now in his senior year, back deep, along with Damian Carter to receive this kick. And for the Wellesley Raiders, it is number 45, Eddie Webb, prepared to kick this ball away. The Hawks at 1-0, Wellesley at 1-0. Kick away. This one headed right back to the goal line. It's fielded by Carter. He'll come straight up the middle, tries to hesitate, but ends up going down just past the 20-yard line. It looks like they'll spot the football on the 21, and that is where the Scarlet Hawks will get themselves started.
21-yard return. First and 10.
Evan Cornelius about to lead this offense out onto the field. Evan, the offensive star a week ago on the ground, scoring 3 of Milford's rushing touchdowns. Into the flat for Isaiah Pantalone, and already Pantalone using his speed. He is ahead of the field, has one player to beat, and he will not catch him. And Isaiah Pantalone, on his first season, does exactly what he did to start his season last year. A long touchdown run, and the Scarlet Hawks instantly with a 6-0 lead. And Nick Arujo out for the extra point, and that is the kind of dynamic, game-changing player that Isaiah Pantalone is on this Scarlet Hawks team. Just a little dump-off pass to the far side of the field for Evan Cornelius, and Pantalone able to do the rest. A 79-yard touchdown connection from Cornelius to Pantalone. And we're not even 30 seconds into this game, and Milford has a 7-0 lead. Well, settle in, folks. That's the kind of night we might have here tonight. An early score for the Scarlet Hawks. A quick pause here on the broadcast, and we'll have the kickoff next. Stay with us here on Milford TV.
Number 18, Nick Arujo, set to kick off. Henry Redgate is deep for the Raiders, along with number 5, Jordan St. Louis.
Milford set to kick this ball away after an electrifying play to open up the night. One play needed on offense for the Scarlet Hawks, a 79-yard passing touchdown to Isaiah Pantalone. And now Nick Arujo to kick off. And this will sail into the end zone for a touchback. That was a specialty for Nick Arujo last week. A lot of his kicks last week going for touchbacks. He's just got a phenomenal leg. Looks to have even more power behind that leg this season than he did a year ago. He has continued to work on his craft. One of the top kickers in the Hockomock League, and turning into a reliable back in the backfield for Evan Cornelius as well. Just another example of the Olsons putting players in position to succeed. No matter how big a roster they have to work with, they'll find the players to plug into positions and get big results. So now it is Wellesley looking to answer. They're able to connect on the far side of the field on a pass play on first down. The pass completed to number 18, Xavier Ferrara. And it looks like they'll say that ball was out of bounds, so an incompletion will set up second down and 10. Second down and 10. The starting QB for the Raiders is Vincent Ferrara. Running play here on second down, and the back stood up right near the line of scrimmage. It looks like he's able to get an initial burst out towards the 24-yard line.
3-yard gain on the play. Third down and 7, Wellesley on their own 23-yard line.
So the official line of scrimmage, the 23, where it will be third down and 7, as we just now are a minute into the action. These Milford fans starting to get loud. Ferrara out of the shotgun. He drops back and able to sling it downfield. Milford with coverage there, but the catch is made over double coverage. Milford had Carter and Jaden Archibald there in the secondary, but Xavier Ferrara able to get out ahead, and that pass right on the money. And so you've got Vincent Ferrara at QB, and you have Xavier Ferrara. Both are captains on this team, and with a quality hookup there to push Wellesley deep into Milford territory on a third down and long play.
First and 10, Wellesley on the Milford 23.
So the new line of scrimmage is the Milford 23. And Ferrara with an empty backfield, in some trouble, and he goes down. Milford gets the sack. It is Nick Araujo. We talked about him in the kicking game and in the running game. Well, how about on defense as well? Araujo with the sack.
Loss of 9 on the play. Second down and 16, Wellesley. Ball's on the Milford 29-yard line.
And so the ball now all the way back to the Milford 29. Man in motion here from left to right for the Raiders. They fake the handoff, and then the pass out in front of Justin Williamson.
Pass was intended for number 13, Justin Williamson.
And so again, that will set up third down.
For the Raiders.
Third and 16 for the Raiders. Defeated Longmeadow High School last week, got out to a big lead. Did not look back. Still 9 minutes and 51 seconds to go in the first quarter, and the play quickly whistled dead. Flag comes in.
Offsides on Milford is the call. 5-yard penalty, replay, third down.
And that will cut it down to a third down and 11 play, so an unfortunate penalty for Milford, making this a little bit more of a reasonable third down situation for the Raiders. Ferrara looking to throw. Milford pushes the pile, and Ferrara able to scoot out to his right. He sends the throw down the far sidelines, and it was nearly picked off. It ends up landing incomplete, and it'll be a fourth down and 11 play coming up now, and a interesting play call coming up here for Coach Davis.
That brings up 4th and 11. Wellesley on the Milford 24-yard line.
Saw Bridgewater Raynham last week. The times where they had the most success was when their quarterback was able to buy time. They will go for it here on 4th down and 11. Time in the pocket here for Ferrara. Now rolls out to his right, looks to the end zone, and that ball is thrown out of play. And Wellesley's going to turn it over on downs. But there is a penalty flag down. And it was a holding call against Wellesley. That penalty is declined, and the result of the play is a turnover on downs.
The result of the play is a turnover on downs to Milford.
So Wellesley able to get the big play in that connection between Vincent and Xavier Ferrara, but from there Milford's defense able to tighten up, and they ultimately force the turnover on downs. And certainly at that spot on the field, it made sense for Wellesley to go for it, as Milford will have starting field position from their own 24. So a similar spot on the field to where Milford started their last drive. And so Milford will now run just their second play on offense, as they only needed one to score the touchdown to open up the game. 9.5 minutes to go in the first quarter, as Milford will keep it on the ground here on first down, and it's Damian Carter who gets the handoff. He spins forward for a couple of yards.
Damian Carter on the carry.
Milford mixing it up.
2-yard gain on the play. Second and 8, Milford on their own 26.
Receivers as part of this running attack as well. Second down for the Hawks as Cornelius changes things up. He has Romeo Holland to his right. He gives it to the big back, who's able to bounce off contact. He gets a first down here, crosses midfield, and will come to a stop right around the Wellesley 47-yard line. But a flag all the way back at the line of scrimmage. It's a holding call against the Scarlet Hawks that will negate the big gain for Holland. And so Milford, who played penalty-free football through the first half last week, already now called for a couple of penalties early on in this first quarter. That one costly. Clock right now paused at 8 minutes and 44 seconds to go.
Second and 19 for Milford on their own 15.
It's a second down and 19 here for the Scarlet Hawks, and meanwhile Wellesley calls their first timeout
their first of the first half. Fans, a reminder to visit our concession stand, which is located.
And so while we have a quick pause in the action, we encourage anyone, if you're tuned into our broadcast tonight and you might be making your way down to the field, Milford TV has a booth set up right next to the Gridiron Club booth by the bleachers here tonight. Our member services coordinator Michelle Hebsche is down there giving out information on our 10th anniversary fundraising event, which is coming up on October 20th. Making it real easy for anyone who wants to go over and learn more about the fundraiser or to purchase tickets for the fundraiser to do so right here at the Milford football field. So if you're a fan of our Scarlet Hawks athletics coverage that we've been bringing you for the better part of the last decade, we encourage you to head down and buy a ticket to our 10th anniversary fundraiser coming up next month. It'll take place over at Craft Roots Brewery. Keep bringing more information about the fundraiser each week. And so meanwhile, back to the field out of the timeout, 8:44 to go in the first quarter. A second down and long play here as Cornelius targets Isaiah Pantalone, who is immediately met.
Pass by Cornelius is complete to Isaiah Pantalone,
as he was able to haul in that ball back close to the original line of scrimmage. Looks like it'll set Milford up with a third down and 11 coming up.
8-yard gain on the play. Third and 11, Milford on their own 23.
And so now it is Milford who will call a timeout. We'll take the timeout as well. 8 minutes and 12 seconds to go in this first quarter. It is a 7-0 lead for the Scarlet Hawks on top of Wellesley here on Milford TV.
Third down and 11, Milford on their own 23-yard line.
Each team utilizing a timeout here in the first quarter. It is third down and 11 for Milford. Again, this Milford crowd getting loud as Cornelius airs it out down the field, but that is out of the reach of Pantalone. Ball well overthrown. And this will result in a likely punting situation for Milford. So a drive that started out promising with a nice big run play for Romeo Holland, who had an excellent game last week for Milford, but that run called back on a penalty, and Milford not able to gain traction on that drive from there. And so a punt coming up here for Nick Arujo. Looks like Henry Redgate lined up to receive this kick. Had a lot of hang time on it. Fair catch called for. And he's able to haul it in at the 39-yard line for the Raiders. So some better starting field position this time for Wellesley.
First and 10, Wellesley on their own 39-yard line.
So Vincent Ferrara back out there. It is Vincent Ferrara, Jacob Parker, Tyler Yen, Xavier Ferrara, and Brady Renzella. Squad as
Number 7, Max Poirier on the carry.
Max Poirier able to get a nice run on first down. Just shy of the first down. It'll be second and inches coming up here, just shy of midfield.
9-yard gain on the play. Second and 1, Wellesley on their own 48.
Less than 7.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. They fake the handoff. Quick release on the throw, and it's complete to Robbie Brogy.
Ferrara's pass is complete. Caught by number 17, Robbie Brogy.
And they'll spot the football down on the Milford 40.
11-yard gain on the play.
So a 9-yard run and now an 11-yard pass completion on the drive so far for the Raiders. Fresh set of downs for Wellesley as they fake the handoff. Ferrara on the run. He's able to get rid of it as he was being pursued with speed by Mason Baldick, but able to get rid of the ball to avoid another sack.
Mason Baldick in on the quarterback hurry. Second and 10 for Wellesley.
So it'll be second down and 10 now for the Raiders. Ball remaining on the Milford 40-yard line. Still very mild conditions here at the field as the last bits of daylight start to fade. We've had some nice, still summer-like feel to these first 2 weeks of the football season. We'll take the nice weather as long as we can get it. On second down and 10, they keep it on the ground, and
number 7, Max Poirier on the carry.
About 3 or 4 yards on the carry for Poirier.
3-yard gain on the play.
Call it a gain of 3.
For Wellesley.
And another third down play, and it's been interesting on third down through these early drives for the Raiders. And Vincent Poirier out of the shotgun. And a flag on the snap, and it looks like we'll get a false start called against the Raiders.
False start on Wellesley is the call. 5-yard penalty, replay, third down.
So that'll set up third down and 12 now for
12
Wellesley.
For the Raiders on the Milford 42.
The line of scrimmage, the Milford 42. This Milford defense so workmanlike last week. Not a lot of flashy plays, but just shut down anything that Bridgewater Raynham was trying to do here. Ferrara trying to hurry up that pass across the middle, but it lands incomplete. And it'll be a 4th down and 12.
For the Raiders.
And a much more likely punting situation. Eddie Webb lined up ready to send a kick away.
Eddie Webb in punt formation.
Looks like Damian Carter will drop back deep along with CJ
Farrell.
Farrell. A little bit of a delay on the punt, and now this one is going to wobble out of bounds. So it looks like that ball crossed out of bounds on the Milford 25-yard line.
Webb's punt was ruled out at the 35-yard line. 1st and 10, Milford on their own 35.
Yeah, beg your pardon, 35-yard line is where the possession will begin. Play on 1st down for the Hawks. Not
Ronan Swineford, the ball carrier.
A lot of territory gained there. The first run of the game for Ronan Swineford.
4-yard gain on the play. 2nd and 6.
Swineford quickly sprints to the sideline. Ronan had himself a nice game last week. Five minutes to go in the first quarter as Cornelius puts it in the hands of Romeo Holland once again. This time no flag on the play as Holland is able to bully his way forward close to the yard to gain.
And that play is good for Scarlet Hawks.
They will give Holland the 1st down.
6-yard gain on the play. 1st and 10, Milford on their own 45.
So 1st and 10 now from the 45, and Milford continues to chip away with the ground game. They go back to Holland once again.
4-yard gain on the play. 2nd and 6 to Milford on their own 49.
Last week, Romeo Holland had 10 carries for 83 yards. Ronan Swineford, who we mentioned a moment ago, had 15 carries for 74 yards. As a lot of these Scarlet Hawks running backs got into the offensive action. Just under 4 minutes to go now in the quarter. And this time Cornelius will run himself and tries to mow down Charlie Cristoforo on the way by. It's a hard hit as Cornelius met the defensive front of the Raiders, able to push his way forward for a Scarlet Hawks 1st down. And
6-yard gain on the play. 1st and 10.
We saw Cornelius doing some really tough running last week as well. We mentioned the 3 rushing touchdowns. In total, Cornelius had 8 carries on the night for a total of 50 yards. And just continuing to show their depth in the running game, as that time it was Nick Arujo carrying the ball down inside
2nd and 3 to Milford on
the Wellesley 40.
38-yard line.
Clock continuing to roll here. Cornelius back out of the shotgun. As Swineford off of his left hip. And instead it's a quick dump-off pass to Nate Scudo on the far side, and Scudo's able to get the 1st down.
Number 28, Nate Scudo. And that play is good for the Scarlet Hawks.
Different player touching the football on this series of plays here for the Scarlet Hawks, continuing to show off their offensive depth. Back to Swineford in the backfield on 1st and 10 from the Wellesley 32. And This time Cornelius will pass, hit as he throws. He's able to connect with Scudo, and Scudo's able to get down inside the 20-yard line. And he has the first down. Cornelius getting sandwiched there by a couple of defenders, but still got that throw off with enough steam to complete it to Scudo. And ends up going as a gain of 14, and Cornelius right back into the play. He's delivered a hard hit and now received a hard hit on this drive, but as usual, it does not faze Evan. Now fakes the handoff to Romeo Holland, now trying to find some space on the near sideline and ends up getting tackled. Robbie Brogy there to bring Cornelius down. A lot of open space on the near side, but Cornelius will settle for the 9-yard gain, setting up second down and 1 with the ball now inside the Raiders' 10. As the clock ticks down to 1 minute remaining in the first quarter. Milford up by 7, looking for more as they put it in the hands of Holland.
Romeo Holland, the ball carrier.
Spins off of contact and comes to a stop shy of the 5-yard line. But enough to get the first down. Milford will have first and goal.
Three-yard gain on the play. First and goal, Milford on the Wellesley 6.
Ball spotted now on the Raiders' 6-yard line. First and goal for Milford. Holland still in the backfield, and he will get the handoff here as he makes his way to the near side, across the goal line and in. Touchdown, Scarlet Hawks. Romeo Holland with a 6-yard rushing touchdown, as Milford will add on to the lead. Rusho's kick up and good. 36 seconds remaining in the first quarter. And Milford with their second TD of the quarter. They take a 14-0 lead on Wellesley. And so the big play in the passing game on the first drive of the night, and Milford going back to that ground and pound style that they had so much success with last week. Unleashing several of their backs on that possession. Romeo Holland doing the bulk of the running there, especially late in the drive, and to put that ball into the end zone from 6 yards out to double the Milford lead. Now ready to send this one back to the Raiders. Back at the 5-yard line. A little bit of a slip there for the return man, Henry Redgate. He ends up putting the knee down, so it'll be a long field here for the Raiders. The line of scrimmage will be the Wellesley 8-yard line.
Ruled down at the 8-yard line. First and 10 at Wellesley on their own 8.
And in motion for Ferrara. He hands it off in the backfield to Max Poirier. And he is dragged down by Aiden Watson.
Number 7, Max Poirier on the carry. Number 7, Aiden Watson on the tackle.
Able to get a good push on that first down play to give the Raiders a little bit more room to breathe. It's going to be 2nd and 1 now from the 17, and one more play here before the first quarter is done. It is a pass play into dangerous territory, but it's complete. And this will get the Raiders a first down as the clock expires here in the first quarter.
Ferrara's pass is complete. Caught by number 10, Tyler Yen.
Tyler Yen, one of the captains for the Raiders, able to come up with that completion as that finishes up the first quarter. So Milford able to jump out to an early 14-0 lead. We will take a quick timeout on the broadcast, and we'll start the second quarter for you next. Stay with us here on coverage of Scarlet Hawks Athletics on Milford TV.
Four-yard gain on the previous play. First and 10, Wellesley on their own 22 to begin the second quarter of play.
This drive started on the Wellesley 8-yard line in the final seconds of the first quarter. We now begin second quarter action with first and 10 from the Wellesley 22. They will air it out down the near sideline, and the pass is caught.
Pass is complete.
It is hauled in by number 17, Robbie Brokey, who has been a factor on offense and defense in this game. Another big passing play for Vincent Ferrara. He has been accurate from deep in this first half.
36-yard gain on the play.
That goes as a gain of 36 yards.
First and 10 for Wellesley on the Milford 42.
This will move Wellesley into Milford territory once again. Ball spotted on the Milford 42. Ferrara will keep it. He is able to avoid contact initially, but Romeo Holland, like a heat-seeking missile into the backfield. And I beg your pardon, that is not 44, it is 50 for Mason Baldick. He pursued Ferrara on the last drive, nearly had him wrapped up for a sack. This time he gets the job done. And that pushes the Raiders back into their own part of the field onto the Raiders' 49-yard line. The second sack of the game for this Milford defense. It was Nick Arujo in the first quarter, now Mason Baldick with the sack. Here the Wellesley coaching staff frustrated after that last play. 11 minutes to go in the half as they fake the handoff. The pass elevated and not hung on to this time by Brogey. And you can see things getting a little chippy between Brogey and the Milford secondary. After Brogey pulled down that big reception a few moments ago, you saw him pointing after the play to Aiden Watson. That time Watson gave him a little extra shove after the play, no whistle. Down at 17 for the Raiders. Quick release on the throw over the middle, and it's caught by number 10, Tyler Yen.
Ferrara's pass is complete. Caught by number 10, Tyler Yen.
Tough pass over the middle. Yen pulls it down, able to get it out to the 35-yard line, shy of the first down.
16-yard gain on the play. 4th and 3 for Wellesley on the Milford 35-yard line.
So it is now 4th and 3. As Wellesley right now keeps their offense out on the field.
Timeout,
And meanwhile, it's Milford who calls the timeout. So Scarlet Hawks now using their second timeout, stopping the clock with 10 minutes and 21 seconds. So as we wrap up this second week of the high school fall sports season, just a heads up to all of our viewers out there. So far, we've had a chance to get our first look at the Milford girls volleyball team in a Week 1 matchup with Foxborough. We also were able to cover boys soccer action here on the Milford turf yesterday as the Scarlet Hawks took on the Sharon Eagles. We'll get all of those games up and running on our channels, and we'll also make them available on our video on demand site, so you'll be able to stream all of that action over at vod.milfordtv.net. Weather permitting, we hope to see both the boys and girls soccer teams in action next week, along with another game for the girls volleyball team. Seeing some rain potentially in the forecast for the early part of the week, so we'll see if we can get that boys soccer action in on Monday. Stay tuned to our social media pages for the latest update on that coverage. Then we'll be in the gym for girls volleyball on Tuesday, and then should have clear skies to get a look at the girls soccer team on Wednesday. So stay tuned for all of that coverage next week. All of that will be streamed for you live here on YouTube. Now out of the timeout, Ferrara on the run on 4th down. He reaches forward, and he's going to have the first down. Milford could not contain Vincent Ferrara.
He's run good for Wellesley first down.
This will give the Raiders a fresh set of downs as the clock right now is paused at 10 minutes and 14 seconds to go.
Four-yard gain on the play. First and 10, Wellesley on the Milford 31.
So Ferrara needed 3. He ended up getting 4. That sets up first and 10 from the Milford 31-yard line. And again, Ferrara will throw it, and he has a receiver wide open for the touchdown. Robbie Brogy gets ahead of the Milford secondary.
Number 17, Robbie Brogy from 31 yards.
And it's a 31-yard touchdown hookup.
Number 45, Eddie Webb into the point after attempt.
And so Brogy has been a real factor in this Wellesley passing attack. He set up the Raiders in Milford territory with a big reception earlier in the drive, and he finishes it off untouched into the end zone from 31 yards out.
Timeout, Wellesley.
Meanwhile, the Raiders call a timeout before kicking the extra point. So pauses things here at 10:07 to go, and so Milford finally allows their first points of the season after pitching a shutout last week against the Trojans, and continuing that into a scoreless first quarter here tonight, but they finally yield a score, and a big one on a 31-yard touchdown pass from Vincent Ferrara to Robbie Brogy. And we await the extra point here as Wellesley is briefly heading over to the sideline, already back out and set up for the point after attempt. I believe they had a successful 2-point try in their win against Longmeadow last week. And early movement on the line, a flag comes in.
Flag on the play.
So who flinched first? Powwow here for the officials. And it was a false start on the Raiders.
False start on Wellesley is the call.
So this will push the point after attempt back another 5 yards. Eddie Webb on kicking duties. Tyler Yen the holder. Milford getting into the backfield, but the kick away, and the kick is good. So a little bit of an adventure to get that point after try in, but ultimately it's successful. And so the lead back down to a single score. Milford 14, now Wellesley 7.
While you're over that way, also be sure to check out the Milford Gridiron Club tent. And also make sure to grab your 50/50 raffle tickets from our
So hearing the
volunteers in
announcements in
orange vests.
between
Thank you.
the action here, we once again want to acknowledge the Milford Gridiron Club doing an outstanding job once again with a setup here at the field with all kinds of outstanding Scarlet Hawks gear for sale. Also want to acknowledge the Milford Boosters as well. Just recently saw on the Boosters social media earlier this week that once again they have their Scarlet Hawk stencils available. You've no doubt seen those all around town. Those beautiful stencils that are available for purchase. It's a great fundraiser that the Boosters have going on. So you can check out any of the Boosters social media. They're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to learn more about that. Meanwhile, Eddie Webb with a low bouncing kick that is hauled in by Isaiah Pantalone around the 5-yard line. Now tries to create some space on the near side of the field. He crosses the 20 and now gets tripped up out of bounds. He was already well out. And a Wellesley player came sliding in, taking out the legs of Pantalone, and rightfully so. Flags come flying in. There's a penalty flag down where that contact took place. There's also a flag out towards the middle of the field, so we'll see if there are multiple penalties here. 9 minutes and 59 seconds remaining in the first half. And so it looks like we get a holding call against Milford and then the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against Wellesley, and so those penalties are going to offset, and they will redo the kick.
By rule, those penalties will offset, and we will re-kick.
So we'll do it again here with, once again, Pantalone and Carter right on the goal line to receive this kick. Continuing to see a little bit of bad blood show through between these two teams as this game goes along. So Eddie Webb ready to redo this kick. This time keeps it elevated, and this is going to sail into the end zone for a touchback. So Milford will take over.
Webb's kickoff goes for a touchback. 1st and 10, Milford on their own 20.
At their own 20-yard line. From the shotgun on 1st and 10, hands it off to Romeo Holland. Holland able to shake off a tackle. Tightrope walks down the sideline and is eventually forced out of bounds at the 46-yard line. Round for Holland, who's having another stellar day, and Romeo Holland trying to take a stranglehold on the featured back roll on this team. This time it's Swineford as a change of pace. He pushes his way ahead inside Wellesley territory. Gain of about 5 yards on that carry for Ronan. Looks like they'll mark him down right at the 50. So a gain of 4 for Swineford. So first Holland, then Swineford. Now Nick Arujo will get a turn in the backfield. With the clock rolling down towards 9 minutes to play in the first half. High snap, Cornelius will run it himself. He hits the pile and now is going to get forced back. The ball comes out in the end, but the play had already been whistled dead. Forward progress stopped for Cornelius.
Cornelius on the keeper. No fumble on the play. Forward progress was stopped.
So they mark Cornelius down at the Wellesley 48-yard line, where it will be third down.
Three-yard gain, 3rd and 4, Milford. On the Wellesley 47.
Third down and 4. An empty backfield for Cornelius. Has plenty of time and a nice easy completion to Isaiah Pantalone.
Number 5, Isaiah Pantalone.
Plenty of yardage there for the first.
Is good for the Scarlet Hawks.
Looks like they mark Pantalone out of bounds at the Wellesley 39.
8-yard gain on the play. 1st and 10.
Gain
Milford
of 8
on the Wellesley 39
on that connection
line.
from Cornelius to Pantalone. Now the handoff goes to Nicarujo. He is immediately met at the line of scrimmage. The flag did come in there as they call a hold against the Scarlet Hawks.
10 yards from the spot of the foul. Replay, 1st down.
This will push Milford back close to midfield. It'll be 1st down and 20. 8.5 minutes to go.
First and 22 for Milford on their own 49-yard line.
It's officially 1st down and 22. As Cornelius will drop back to throw. Has a receiver open over the middle. That was Jacob Lagore, targeted for the first time tonight. And that ball hits off his hands, incomplete.
For number 8, Jacob Lagore.
Not the easiest throw for Lagore to control there. He had to kind of spin around and contort his body to go backwards to try to pull that in. So 2nd down and 22 now for the Hawks, just on their side of the 50-yard line. Again, it's Holland in the backfield. A quick pass over the middle is complete to number 87, Cam Phillips. And Phillips is met right at midfield, and a gain of just about a yard there for Cam.
Caught by number 87, Cam Phillips. One-yard gain on the play.
So Milford facing a 3rd down and 20 play, 3rd down and 21, excuse me, from the 50-yard line. And Cornelius spreads his receivers out wide and tries for a quick release over the middle to Damian Carter. And the ball lands incomplete, and Milford will have to punt.
For Damian Carter. That brings up 4th and 21.
Penalties hurting Milford again. It's the second drive really hampered by penalties for the Scarlet Hawks in this half. Certainly something for Milford to clean up as this one goes along.
Henry Redgate and Jordan St. Louis are deep for the Raiders.
Rougeau sends that kick out towards the 25-yard line. It goes out of play, spinning just past our sideline camera, which is being operated tonight by Milford High School senior Emily Champagne.
34-yard punt. 1st and 10, Wellesley on
it is a
26.
Theme night here tonight for the Milford student section, a jersey night. Student section filled with all types of college and pro jerseys, and Emily Champagne sporting an old school Tom Brady Patriots jersey down at field level, and certainly gets extra points for her jersey choice tonight. First and 10 now for the Raiders, as Ferrara will hand it off on 1st down, and hard contact there as Max Poirier is met by Nicarujo. And meanwhile, a holding call going against Wellesley, so this will pull the play back. We had just one total penalty flag thrown in the first half last week.
Holding on Wellesley is the call.
It has been a different story here tonight.
First down.
And both sides getting in on the penalties. It'll be first down and 20 for the Raiders.
On their own 16.
Push back all the way to their own 16-yard line. And another penalty flag comes in as now Wellesley gets called for the false start, so they continue to go in the wrong direction.
Replay, first down. First and 25 for the Raiders from their own 11-yard line.
So all the way back to the 11 now, where it is first and 25. Both of these teams now really shooting themselves in the foot with penalties. Handed off on first down, again to Poirier. Milford getting reinforcements in there, continuing to push and shove after the whistle.
Max Poirier on the carry.
We'll get that ball out to the 18-yard line.
Seven-yard gain on the play.
Second down and 18 here.
On their own 18.
And again, they'll give it to Poirier. This time he has met immediately.
Max Poirier on the carry. Number 53, Matthew Donis in on the stop for the Scarlet Hawks.
Matthew Donis, the senior, in on that tackle for the Scarlet Hawks, setting up another big third down and long play. We've seen them out of both sides here in this last sequence, but we have also seen good success from Wellesley on third down and long plays. And got to keep an eye on where 17 is, Robbie Brokey, who has been able to break off some big gains. Ferrara drops back to throw, looks over the middle, and the pass is incomplete. Off the hands of number 23, Tom Burton.
Ferrara's pass falls incomplete. Pass was intended for number 23, Tom Burton. Number 5, Isaiah Pantalone in on coverage for the Scarlet Hawks.
So ready for another
down and a 17 for Wellesley from their own 19.
Raiders punt. Limited on that drive by a couple of costly penalties, and Milford will get the ball back with about 5.5 minutes to go in the half. Remember, the Scarlet Hawks won the coin toss, elected to receive, so Wellesley will have the ball first in the third quarter. Line drive kick here that Milford will let roll, and it's going to continue to roll back inside the 35-yard line. Not the prettiest, but effective for Webb.
Webb's punt rolls to the 33-yard line.
So Milford will start this drive from their own 33.
On their own 33.
Romeo Holland out into the backfield for the Scarlet Hawks on 1st and 10. Pantalone in motion. He gets the handoff, able to avoid contact in the backfield. Now runs into his own man, has to just try to plow forward. And able to get some positive yardage. Nowhere to go there for Pantalone. And you have to give the Wellesley coaching staff credit. And they have certainly gotten an up close and personal look at Pantalone in the last 2 seasons. But they've been able to make some adjustments here after that big 79-yard touchdown for Pantalone on the first play of the game. They've been able to limit his contribution since then. Now Holland on second down, lowering the shoulder as he makes his way down to the 40.
Five-yard gain on the play. 3rd and 3, Milford on their own 40.
When these teams met last season, Pantalone was able to collect a 20-yard touchdown pass from Evan Cornelius. His lone score in that game. Cornelius also was able to get a big passing touchdown on the first score of the game, a 51-yard pass to Nick Schuler for a touchdown, as Milford scored 3 touchdown passes in the first quarter against Wellesley last season. Again, these two teams met up in week 2 of the season last year as well in Wellesley. And so Milford with 3 passing touchdowns in the first quarter, an 81-yard Grant Scudo rushing touchdown to go along with a Nick Arujo 38-yard field goal in the second quarter. Staked Milford to an early 31-0 lead. The only score for Wellesley in that game last season came on a pass play from Vincent Ferrara to Jack Poirier for 65 yards for a touchdown. Nick Arujo would go on to kick 2 more field goals in the second half. And Arujo would also collect an interception and return it for a score to finish off what was a 44-7 victory for Milford against Wellesley last season. It's been a closer contest through the first half here tonight. A 14-7 lead for Milford with 4 minutes and 7 seconds remaining in the second quarter. A 3rd down play coming up here for the Scarlet Hawks offense. They fake the handoff. Cornelius trying to run it himself, but he does not have anywhere to go. He's able to get back to the line of scrimmage, where it will be 4th down and 3 for the Hawks, and Milford will have to punt.
4th down and 3 for Milford on their own 40.
So again, this Wellesley defense doing a nice job
Number 18, Nick Arujo
of limiting Milford's options, and they will have a chance to possess the football again in this half as the clock winds down to 3.5 minutes to go. Plenty of time for Arujo to get that kick away. Fair catch called for. The ball is bobbled. Loose on the field. It looks like Milford has it, and yes, they do.
The punt return is muffed, then recovered by the Scarlet Hawks.
So Tyler Yen calling for the fair catch, but he bobbled it. And then Milford able to fall on the football. And so it looked like that was 57 Keith Lee who was able to come up with the recovery. The Milford captain with a big play on special teams, and the Scarlet Hawks offense able to come right back out onto the field. 3:23 to go.
1st and 10, Milford on the Wellesley 27-yard line.
On 1st down, the play on the ground up the middle, and a big play for Romeo Holland on 1st down. Able to carry it inside the Raiders 15.
15-yard gain on the play. 1st and 10, Milford on the Wellesley 13.
So 1st and 10 from the 13. They go right back to Holland. Goes off the end of the line and into the end zone for a touchdown. And so Milford immediately makes the turnover hurt as Romeo Holland runs it in from 13 yards out. And Milford able to increase the lead now to 20-7, and Nicarujo out for another point after attempt. And so just as it felt like momentum might be shifting into Wellesley's favor, Milford able to get the key turnover, and then they turn it into points. And meanwhile, Nicarujo misses his first extra point of the season. So that keeps the score at 20-7 in favor of the Scarlet Hawks. 2 minutes and 50 seconds remain in the half. And again, it is Redgate and St. Louis who line up deep for the Wellesley Raiders.
Nicarujo set to kick off. Henry Redgate and Jordan St. Louis are deep for the Raiders.
Russo set to kick it away. Right around the 5-yard line, hauled in there by Redgate. And Milford able to track him down just past the 20-yard line.
Number 2, Henry Redgate on the return. Number 53, Matthew Donis in on the stop for the Scarlet Hawks.
Starting field position from the Wellesley 22.
First and 10, Wellesley on their own 22-yard line.
Hand it off on first down and nowhere for Wellesley to go. Poirier on the carry yet again.
Max Poirier on the carry. Mason Baldick in on the stop.
So Max Poirier, who was able to haul in a big passing touchdown in this offense against Milford last season, has so far been used exclusively in the running attack.
On their own 18-yard line.
On second down now, quick pass completed on the far side of the field. And it's back to Robbie Brogy.
Ferrara's pass is complete. Caught by number 17, Robbie Brogy.
Set up 3rd down and 6.
3rd and 6.
And another quick pass over the middle, completed this time to Xavier Ferrara. And that is good for the first down.
Ferrara is complete to Xavier Ferrara. Play good for Wellesley's first down.
Second catch for Xavier Ferrara. He was able to haul in the first Vincent Ferrara pass the night. And good for Ferrara, but eventually he runs out of time. As
in on the sack.
And that will go as a sack. Milford's 3rd sack of the half.
2nd and 13, Wellesley on their own 34.
Now flags fly in on the second down play inside of the final minute of the half.
False start on Wellesley is the call.
Wellesley getting called for the false start.
Second down. Second and 18, Wellesley on their own 29.
On second down and 18, that snap catching Ferrara by surprise. He overthrows, and Milford can't capitalize on what would have been an easy interception. That ball thrown right to Damian Carter.
Number 80, Damian Carter.
Scarlet Hawks almost with their second turnover.
From their own 29-yard line.
But instead it will now be 3rd down and 18 for the Raiders. 50 seconds to go. This defense now wanting to give their offensive counterparts one last shot in this first half. 50 seconds to go. And no hesitation on that throw from Ferrara. It's complete over the middle to Xavier Ferrara, but not enough for the first down. To roll down. Looks like Wellesley now calls the time left. So we'll get some formalities out of the way here for these final seconds until we head into halftime. Milford able to grab some additional points here in the half off of a turnover. See what Wellesley elects to do on this 4th down play coming up outside of this timeout. Once we get into halftime, we'll look to keep our camera up on top of the press box out wide so we can catch any potential halftime festivities. We do have the Scarlet Hawks marching band here. It looks like they will perform at halftime. So we'll see if we can get an angle on the marching band halftime show. So 4 seconds left. Wellesley keeps their offense on the field for one final play, and a deep drop back here for Ferrara. Now steps up and gets run over, and one last sack to cap off the half. It's the 2nd sack of the game for Mason Baldick. And the defense making a big play to send this game into the half with Milford on top of Wellesley by a score of 20-7. So right now the Scarlet Hawks cheerleaders taking the field. The Scarlet Hawks marching band will be out as well, so we'll have that footage streaming for you through our halftime. We'll pause here on the play-by-play. So enjoy the visuals of this halftime, and then we'll be back with you with second half coverage. Again, Milford on top of Wellesley by a score of 20-7. Stay with us here on the coverage right here on Milford TV.
And now, fans, please welcome back the Scarlet Hawks Marching Band for their halftime show. They'll be performing Fireball and Sweet Caroline. Cabucho set to kick off.
Quite an entertaining halftime, and now ready to get back to football. Third quarter getting started here in Milford. Tim Coed back with you on the call here for Milford TV. The Scarlet Hawks kicking it off to the Wellesley Raiders.
Number 2, Henry Redgate on the return.
Scarlet Hawks leading this game over Wellesley by a score of 20-7. Touchdowns in the first half. A 79-yard passing touchdown on the very first offensive play of the game from Evan Cornelius to Isaiah Pantalone. A 6-yard rushing touchdown for Romeo Holland and a 13-yard rushing touchdown in the game as well. And then for Wellesley getting a 31-yard passing touchdown from their quarterback, Vincent Ferrara, to wide receiver Robbie Brogy. And now on first down, Ferrara able to roll out of danger and complete a pass down the far sideline into Milford territory. That has been when Ferrara has been at his best on the move. So similar to what we saw last week out of the Bridgewater Raynham QB when he had success against this Milford defense.
Ferrara's pass was complete. There are fouls on both teams.
And however, we've got multiple flags down after the play. Wellesley backing up. So the penalties offset, penalties on both sides.
On Milford and holding on Wellesley.
So we'll redo first and 10.
Offset, and we will replay first down. First and 10 for the Raiders on their own 27.
So once again on first down, this time they keep it on the ground back to Poirier. He's able to avoid the grasp of Milford's Andrew Rivera and able to continue forward before being forced out around the Milford sideline.
Aiden Watson in on the stop.
Aiden Watson eventually in on the tackle as Wellesley gets it out to the 35-yard line.
Second and 2, Wellesley on their own 35.
Minute into the second half action. The ball on the ground once again and not much space.
Number 2, Henry
Looks like Henry Redgate on the carry that time for the Raiders.
No gain on the play. Third down and 2. Wellesley on their own 35-yard line.
Third down and 3 coming up here for Wellesley. Ball spotted just outside, just past the 35-yard line, I should say. And in motion, as Ferrara drops back, looking down the near sideline, and this pass is picked off. Damian Carter makes a nifty grab. There is a flag down right where the interception was made. So the officials coming together here. What's the call? And so pass interference on the offense.
On Wellesley is the call.
So that penalty is declined. So the interception will stand. Damian Carter with an interception.
First and 10, Milford on their own 34.
So Damian Carter nearly had an interception late in the first half. Could not hang on to the football. This time able to get the pick on a much higher degree of difficulty play. Good coverage all around in the secondary there for Milford. And so now first and 10. Holland hesitating in the backfield, now carrying defenders forward for some positive yardage.
Four-yard gain on the play.
Gain of 4 yards.
Milford on their own 38.
And again, the handoff, and Nick Arujo able to sneak through up to midfield before he is wrestled down.
And that play is good for the Scarlet Hawks.
Sneaky quickness out of Nick Arujo.
12-yard gain on the play. First and 10, Milford on the 50.
Gain of 12 yards. Down to 9 minutes in the third quarter. They fake the handoff. Pass is complete to Pantalone, and he's able to show more of that quick acceleration ahead for the first down before he is brought down at the Wellesley 39-yard line. Make it the 38-yard line.
12-yard gain on the play.
Gain of 12 on the reception for Pantalone. Now the handoff to Swineford. Swineford able to cut forward all the way down to the 25-yard line, it looks like. Another first down carry. Swineford brings just such a great change of pace. You've got these big bruising backs in Holland and Arujo.
15-yard gain on the play. First and 10, Milford on the Wellesley 25.
Swineford just a completely different running style, and he continues to have good success. Now back to Holland. Holland able to get away from initial contact. Good second burst, and he's going to get the Milford first down.
An 11-yard gain on the play. First and 10, Milford.
7 minutes and 49 seconds to go. Another first down for the Hawks, and Wellesley is going to try to regroup here. They call the timeout. Clock paused at 7 minutes and 44 seconds to go. And so once again, while we have a pause in the action, we want to remind all of the viewers once again that Milford TV will be celebrating Community Media Day, as well as our 10-year anniversary of serving the Milford community, all part of a fundraising event that we'll be hosting over at Craft Roots Brewery on October the 20th. And if you head over to milfordtv.net right now, you can purchase tickets to the fundraiser. Every ticket will come with a complimentary beverage the night of the fundraiser. We'll have some fun entertainment and a great night to celebrate Milford TV and all we've been able to do here in the Milford community over the last 10 years. And a big part of what we've been able to do is right here with our high school and local sports coverage. And so for all of you tuned into the coverage tonight, if you've enjoyed this coverage over the years, we humbly ask that you purchase a ticket and support our operations at Milford TV and join us for just a really fun night all around over at Craft Roots. So that fundraising event, again, taking place next month on October 20th over at Craft Roots. So hope you'll purchase tickets. We had a table here at the football game tonight. I'm sure we'll have that table set up at future football games to make it real easy for folks to purchase tickets. So again, join us on October 20th for that fundraising event. Second down coming up for the Hawks. And the ball comes loose here. Milford trying to collect it back in. It looked like Cam Phillips there was trying to fall on the ball. And it is Wellesley who recovers.
Recovered by Wellesley, and there's also a flag on the play.
There is a flag on the play, but it looks like this will result in a turnover here for the Scarlet Hawks. It was Nick Arujo on the running play. So no flag on the play. They pick up the penalty marker.
There is no flag on the play. The flag was picked up. No flag on the play.
So Arujo loses the fumble. It's Milford's first turnover of the season.
First and 10, Wellesley on their own 1.
And meanwhile, Wellesley, the good news is they were able to generate the turnover. The bad news is their offense comes out with starting field position at their own 1-yard line. So dangerous territory here as Vincent Ferrara sets up under center. Able to push forward for a couple of yards, trying to give the offense a little bit of room to operate. It's like a gain of 2.
Max Poyer on the carry for the Raiders. 2-yard gain on the play. Second
Clock
and
continues
8
to roll now,
on their own 3.
coming down to 6.5 minutes to go. Again, Ferrara under center. He has Poirier in the backfield. He hands it off to the back. Able to sneak past the 5-yard line out to, looks like they'll give him the 7.
4-yard gain on the play. Third down and 4. Wellesley on their own 7-yard line.
Third down and 4 coming up from the Wellesley 7. Chance for Milford to play a little field position battle here if they can stop the Raiders short of the first down.
Pass by number 8, Vincent Ferrara, is complete.
And meanwhile, Ferrara able to get the completion out to the far sideline. I believe that was Burton again who was able to haul in the catch.
12-yard gain on the play. First and 10, Wellesley on their own 19-yard line.
And so now Wellesley able to reset after starting this drive from the 1. Pass it out towards the far side of the field.
Pass by Ferrara is complete.
Brogy with another catch. And Brogy a little slow to get back to his feet after that hard contact. So we'll get a injury-related timeout here, stopping the clock with 4:45 to go. Looked like C.J. Farrell was in on that tackle for Milford. So looks like Brogy might be a little cramped up. They're trying to stretch him out on the field. So an injury timeout here at field level. We will take the timeout as well. Clock paused at 4:45 to go. Still a 20-7 Scarlet Hawks lead on top of Wellesley. We'll be back with more coverage in just a moment here on Milford TV.
Six-yard gain on the previous play. Second and 4. Wellesley on their own 25.
quickly back out of the timeout. The ball comes loose, and turnover's the name of the game so far here in the second half. Milford comes up with another, and that looked to be Andrew Rivera who recovered that fumble.
Number 34, Andrew Rivera with the fumble recovery. Fans, please take out your 50-50 split the pot raffle tickets. We do have the winning number. The winning number is 677-7932.
So taking a look at the
7932.
last several possessions for Wellesley, 3 out of their last 4 have all ended in turnovers. A fumble recovered by Keith Lee late in the second quarter, then Damian Carter with an interception on the first Wellesley possession of this third quarter, and now Andrew Rivera with Milford's second fumble recovery of the game. So now the turnover battle, 3 for Milford, 1 for Wellesley. In terms of turnovers generated.
3-yard gain, 2nd and 7, Milford.
And so Milford back on offense. It is now 2nd down and 7 after that running play. They fake it and complete it to Pantalone, who tries to juke his way to the open field. But again, this Wellesley secondary has done a good job holding Isaiah Pantalone in check. Just one big play for Isaiah in this game so far, but it certainly was a big one. That 79-yard touchdown in the first quarter. A couple of short gains since then.
4-yard gain, 3rd and 3.
That time a gain of 4 to set up 3rd down and 3. The line of scrimmage is the Wellesley 10-yard line. And now here is Holland, and he is going to tiptoe his way across the goal line for the touchdown. So a 12-yard rushing touchdown this time for Holland. And more points off of turnovers for the Scarlet Hawks. Like Arujo is ready for the point after attempt. And meanwhile, Milford coming off the field, as is Wellesley, as we have another Raiders player down right at the goal line. So Milford scoring the touchdown to take a 26-7 lead, but another injured player on the field. So again, we will step aside for the injury timeout. I beg your pardon, we will keep it right here, as it looks like we'll get right back to game action. It was Max Poirier who was shaken up on the play. Able to get to the sidelines. Looks to be okay. Now meanwhile, the point after attempt is up, and it is good.
The kick is good. Pass successful. And the nation score, Milford 27, Wellesley 7.
So Milford now with a pair of touchdowns scored off of turnovers. They now take a 27-7 lead on top of Wellesley.
The winning number is 677-7932.
Milford looking to improve to 2-0 on the season before they head out for their first road test of the season, and not a lot of road games before Milford makes it to the playoffs, but a big one next week against the Natick Redhawks. As Milford will face off against Bay State Conference competition for 2 weeks in a row. I can tell you that coming into this week, Natick already 2 games deep into their schedule. They're 1-1 on the season. They've scored a total of 49 points. They've allowed 35. Perhaps getting their game in on Thursday this week, as this kickoff sails to the end zone, and Wellesley's going to try to take it out from a couple of yards deep into the end zone. It's Henry Redgate again on the return. Able to get just across the 15-yard line before he is brought down. So with Milford traveling to Natick next week, we will not have football coverage for you next week here on Milford TV. But again, we are hopeful to get coverage of boys and girls soccer and girls volleyball next week, if we can get the weather to cooperate. Right now, hoping to get out to the boys soccer game on Monday, and then we'll be in the gym for girls volleyball coverage on Tuesday, and then back out onto the turf field for our first look at the varsity girls soccer team on Wednesday. So all of that coverage coming up next week. You can check it all out live streaming exclusively on our YouTube page, and then it will be up and running locally on our educational channel on Verizon HD 2140, and also streaming on our video on demand platform. 1st and 10 now for the Raiders, and Milford sniffing out that running play very quickly.
Tom Burton on the carry.
It's Tom Burton on the carry, that time for Wellesley.
A loss of 2 in the play.
Max Poirier, who has been doing the bulk of the running for Wellesley, was shaken up on that touchdown for Milford a few moments ago. Meanwhile, we're quickly approaching the 2-minute mark here in the third quarter, a pretty quick moving quarter. Now with a 20-point lead. As Ferrara looks to throw. And good coverage in the secondary by the captain, Jaden Archibald. No chance on the completion there, blanketing. Looked to be I beg your pardon, Xavier Ferrara, the intended target there.
For Wellesley on their own 18-yard line.
Down and 12 coming up for the Raiders. Just a light breeze blowing across the playing surface. Again, weather conditions have been picture perfect for these first 2 weeks of the high school football season. On 3rd down and 12, Ferrara chased from the pocket, still under heavy pressure, and he's able to get a wobbly throw away as he was about to be wrapped up by Romeo Holland.
Pass by Vincent Ferrara falls incomplete. Pass was intended for Xavier Ferrara.
Romeo Holland, Mason Baldick, and Guy Saint-Thiel all in hot pursuit in the backfield.
Romeo Holland and Guy Saint-Thiel and Mason Baldick in on the quarterback hurry. That brings up 4th and 12 for Wellesley from their own 18.
4th and 12. A punt coming up here for the Raiders. Milford lined up on the Wellesley side of the 50 to haul in this kick, and it is fair caught by C.J. Farrell.
It's fair caught by C.J. Farrell.
And so Milford will have starting field position on the Wellesley side of the field with the football spotted on the Raiders' 49-yard line. Evan Cornelius back out. Nick Arujo lined up in the backfield. He takes the handoff and is able to slip ahead for a couple of yards. Less than 90 seconds to go in this third quarter. We'll see if Milford starts to bleed Davis from the shotgun, fakes the handoff, guns it over the middle, complete to Pantalone, keeps his feet. Now trying to cut back to the middle of the field, stays towards the far sideline and is finally dragged down by Tyler Yen, but not before bringing Milford all the way down to the Wellesley 12-yard line. 34 yards on that completion to Isaiah Pantalone, doing a lot of the work on the yards after the catch.
Gain on the play. First and 10, Milford on the Wellesley 12.
First and 10 from the 12. And back to Nick Araujo. Nowhere to go that time for Nick. Romeo Holland comes from the sideline to take over in the backfield as the clock ticks down to the final 10 seconds of this third quarter, and it looks like Milford will allow these final seconds to come off the clock and take us into the fourth quarter with the score Milford 27 and Wellesley 7, and Milford knocking on the door of another score. We'll see if they can keep the pressure on the Wellesley Raiders in the fourth quarter. That fourth quarter coverage will begin in just a moment. Stay tuned to this coverage of Milford High School football on Milford TV.
Fans, a reminder as the game moves on, so please remove all trash from the stands. Again, please place all trash in the trash bins. Do not leave it in the stands. Thank you. No gain on the previous play. Second and 10, Milford on the Wellesley.
Once again, we welcome you back into the Milford High School turf field. Fourth quarter getting started here for the Scarlet Hawks. And here is Romeo Holland shoving a defender out of the way as he takes it across the goal line once again. Touchdown, Scarlet Hawks.
Romeo Holland from 12 yards out for the score.
His second rushing touchdown from 12 yards out. He scored the last two touchdowns for the Scarlet Hawks. And so just one play into this fourth quarter, Milford continues to pad their lead. And another Nick Araujo point after coming up. And the kick is good. 11 minutes and 52 seconds to go in this football game, and Milford now up to a 34-7 lead. So in the first half, this game was close. This was a 14-7 game until the late stages of the second quarter. Milford able to get that key fumble recovery from Keith Lee that led to a late touchdown to push the lead out to 20-7. Still a competitive game into the third quarter, but Milford has dominated the turnover battle. They've been able to turn those turnovers into points. And meanwhile, this running game for Milford continues to look very, very strong with Romeo Holland leading the way. He has been a workhorse in this game tonight. Lead now 34-7. Araujo to kick the football off, but a flag comes in.
Flag on the play.
So Milford with penalty there before the kickoff, so getting pushed back. Rougeau willing to take 10 yards on that penalty when he only needs 35-yard line for the kickoff. Again, Henry Redgate and Jordan St. Louis back deep to receive the kick. Lower line drive kick this time. And cutting back through the middle, and a nice burst here for Redgate. A flag does come flying in at the end of the play, as Redgate was able to get all the way up to the 39-yard line.
Number 28, Nate Scudo, in on the stop for the Scarlet Hawks.
Nate Scudo finally able to bring Redgate down. Like from the, we read the signal from the official right, that was an illegal block.
Flag is for an illegal block in the back on Wellesley. 10-yard penalty, 1st and 10 Raiders.
So taking the penalty to negate some of that yardage from that Redgate
Pass by Vincent
run back.
Ferrara is complete to Xavier Ferrara. Six-yard gain on the play.
After Milford wraps up this game tonight, preparation will begin for another matchup with the Natick Redhawks. And anyone who might have forgotten how things went down in the regular season last year between Milford and Natick, I highly encourage you to head over to vod.milfordtv.net and check out our coverage from that game last season. A game that at one point looks like it was going to be a comfortable victory for the Scarlet Hawks, but Natick came storming back. Cut it to a 1-point game. Plays down the stretch in that game that you really have to see to get the full experience of just how dramatic that game ended.
2nd and 8, Wellesley on their own 30.
Teams matched up again in the playoffs last season as well, and it was not as close a game. Milford ended up prevailing in both of those matchups, but Natick always a challenge. Anytime they match up with Milford in any sport in particular, we see such a great rivalry between those two schools. When it comes to boys volleyball, we've seen Milford and Natick match up in the boys volleyball playoffs a number of times over the years. A very spirited rivalry between those two programs, and building quite a rivalry on the football field as well. Approaching 10 minutes to play in the 4th quarter, with the score remaining 34-7 in favor of Milford. And a 3rd down and 5 play coming up for the Wellesley Raiders.
33.
Vincent Ferrara out of the shotgun. He'll air it out, and the pass is complete to Tyler Yen, and Yen is going to take it the distance for the touchdown.
Number 8, Vincent Ferrara, complete to number 10, Tyler Yen, from 67 yards out.
And that'll go as a 67-yard touchdown. So 2 scores now for Wellesley in this game, and both of them have been on big plays. It was a 31-yard passing touchdown to Robbie Brogy in the start of the 2nd quarter, and now a 67-yard touchdown completion
is good. Try successful.
To Tyler Yen, and the point after is successful.
Wellesley 14.
So that gets some momentum back on Wellesley's side. Now a 34-14 Milford lead with 9 minutes and 47 seconds to go. So the lead back to 20. So 9 minutes and 47 seconds to go. Three-score lead, and so we'll see if Natick tries anything here on this kickoff. Milford has Isaiah Pantalone. He's the only player back deep. Again, it is Eddie Webb on kicking duties. And no onside kick attempted here. Send it back to Pantalone. Tries to spin his way through a pile of defenders there, able to get across the 25-yard line.
Yard line. It's a 23-yard return. First and 10, Milford on their own 28.
So Milford with their first possession here in the fourth quarter, leading 34-14. And the ball handed off here to Ronan Swineford. Will maintain control there. It looked like that ball was possibly going to squirt out there at the end of that play, but
1 yard gain on the play.
in the end it goes as just a 1 yard gain for the Scarlet Hawks. I think that ball did come out in the end, and Milford able to fall on it. Now back to Holland, and Holland is met in the backfield.
Romeo Holland on the carry.
That's going to result in a loss for the Scarlet Hawks. Clock still rolling. Wellesley hoping for a quick 3 and out here for Milford.
Milford on their own 28.
Trying to make this a football game here late. And meanwhile, Milford calls for the timeout.
Timeout Milford. Their first of the second half.
First timeout of the third quarter. If you have been
Fans, once again, a reminder,
tuned in faithfully to our football coverage from the start of the night, we did also have a brand new edition of the Milford Informer air on this Friday night over on our Milford TV public channel and also on Verizon HD 2140. Had a lot of great stories featured on the Informer this week, including information on an upcoming walk to end Alzheimer's happening down at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough later on this month. We also shared a look back on the recent Art in the Parks event hosted by the Milford Cultural Council. Also, we shared some football highlights of Milford's Week 1 matchup against Bridgewater Raynham. So if you missed the Milford Informer tonight, it's also available for streaming anytime over on our video on demand platform. You can check it out at vod.milfordtv.net. And while we have the time, just one more quick plug. We encourage everyone to head out and support the Milford Special Olympics tomorrow as they host their 2022 road race. If you have not registered for the race yet, you can register day of tomorrow morning. That race will kick off here at Milford High School tomorrow morning. So if you have not registered, head out to the race tomorrow, get registered before that event. All right, back to action now. Cornelius airing it out down the far sideline, and the pass is incomplete. Just out of the reach of Cam Phillips.
The pass was intended for Cam Phillips. That brings up 4th and 10, Milford on their own 28.
It'll be Fourth down coming up here for the Scarlet Hawks. So meanwhile,
there was a flag on the play.
A flag on that play.
That's a 10-yard penalty.
Holding call against Wellesley that is going to give Milford a first down here. So what a huge penalty in a game that's had a lot of costly penalties on both sides. That might be the toughest one yet, as Wellesley was on the verge of getting the ball back. Instead, now first down for the Hawks. That ball off the hands of Nate Scudo.
Pass was intended for number 28, Nate Scudo.
Bizarre play there as that ball hit Scudo right in the hands.
That brings up 2nd and 10. Milford on their own.
Could not haul it in. So it'll be 2nd down and 10. Milford still looking to get some things ironed out in their passing offense. Fake the handoff to Holland. Now a wobbly throw finds its way to Pantalone. Continues to get spun around, and they'll whistle the play dead. As again, it was Robbie Brogy who came in with some extra pushing and shoving as that whistle came. The Raiders.
No gain on the play. 3rd and 10 for Milford on their own 42-yard line.
Really seem to make it a point to try to get a hard hit on Pantalone every chance they've gotten, even if it's come after the whistle. So an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty as Pantalone was hit out of bounds back in the first half. Cornelius with some time here, targets Scudo. He hauls it in right around the line of scrimmage, but then has nowhere to go. Quickly wrapped up.
Cornelius is complete. Caught by number 28, Nate Scudo.
In the end, they'll give Scudo a couple of yards, but it'll set up 4th down and 8, and Nick Arujo out with the punting unit. So
on their own 44-yard line.
Wellesley's going to get this football back with a little under 7 minutes remaining. Wellesley trailing by 20.
Arujo in punt formation.
Short kick, fair catch. And around the 36-yard line.
This one is fair caught by number 2, Henry Redgate.
So 6:52 remaining. 1st and 10 for the Raiders from their own. I beg your pardon, the 26-yard line. My apologies. Looking to throw on first down, has a man wide open. It is caught for the first down. Out close to the 45-yard line.
Pass by number 8, Vincent Ferrara is complete.
Complete to Tom Burton.
18-yard gain on the play.
Wellesley now into a hurry-up. Now on the ground on first down, and a solid gain for Henry Redgate.
On the carry.
Wellesley's had to go to some different personnel with Poirier injured earlier in this half. So another first down play. 2 plays, 2 first downs for Wellesley, and now again Ferrara looks to throw, has some big trouble, and he is down for the sack. A host of Milford defenders getting into the backfield, with Mason Baldick leading the way. It looks like Evan Cornelius was back there, Ryan O'Connor as well, as everyone was in on that tackle. Milford collecting another sack.
Loss of 11 on the play. 2nd and 21.
And St. Thiel drags the quarterback down, and they will say that he was down. That'll be another Guy St. Thiel sack. And so this pushes Wellesley all the way back around their own 30-yard line. This Milford defensive front really stepping up over these last two plays. St. Thiel and Cornelius back there, giving Ferrara nowhere to go. And Wellesley huddling up now with the clock rolling down towards 4.5 minutes. A 3rd down and 34 coming up for the Raiders. Wellesley dips into the bag of tricks here right now. A short drop for Ferrara, now has to get rid of it. Defenders everywhere for Milford. The ball is knocked away. A flag comes in as the pass falls incomplete. But what's the call here? As
there is a flag on the
Robbie Brokey was the intended target. And so that'll be a pass interference call against Milford. So an unfortunate penalty there for the Scarlet Hawks. They had a ton of defenders in the area. So it'll be a 15-yard penalty, but not an automatic first down. And
3rd and 19.
so it cuts it from a 3rd down and 34 to a slightly more manageable 3rd down and 19. The ball spotted on the Wellesley 45. And this pass caught again by Tom Burton. He's able to get it out to the Milford 40-yard line. Still a few yards shy of the first down.
Ferrara's pass is complete. Caught by number 23, Tom Burton. Damien Carter had on a stop for the Scarlet
Clock still rolling down to 3 minutes and 45 seconds to go. A 4th down play on offense for the Raiders. Ferrara will gun it over the middle. The pass is deflected and it lands incomplete. That was almost deflected into the hands of the Raiders. CJ Farrell was in there on the coverage. Farrell was able to tip it, almost knocked it back into the hands of Robbie Brokey, but in the end it falls incomplete. Milford makes another key play on defense. They get the turnover on downs, and the Milford offense comes back out onto the field with just 3 minutes and 37 seconds left. Cornelius hands it off to Ronan Swineford on first down, who is met immediately. Able to get that ball just barely back to the line of scrimmage.
On their own 41-yard line.
Taking this clock inside of 3 minutes to play. Cornelius from the shotgun, and he will run it himself. Cuts it forward. Now trying to protect the football as he is wrestled to the ground. Might have gotten a late flag in there as Cornelius was able to get as far as the 45-yard line. And that's a face mask penalty against Wellesley. Attack 15 yards on the end of the run for Cornelius.
Foul for a personal foul, face mask on Wellesley.
Another costly Wellesley penalty. This will push Milford all the way down to the Wellesley 40.
First and 10, Milford on the Wellesley 40-yard line.
First and 10. Again in Wellesley territory. Nicarujo off the right hip of Cornelius. He gets the handoff. Protecting that football as he pushes his way ahead towards the 35-yard line. Maybe down to the 34. Gain of about 6 yards there for Arujo. More importantly, taking this game down inside the final 2 minutes. So Milford closing in on their second victory of the season. Cornelius keeping the football himself here on 2nd down and 4.
Evan Cornelius on the keeper.
Looks to be just shy of the first down line. 90 seconds left in this fourth quarter.
3-yard gain on the play. 3rd and 1, Milford on the Wellesley 31-yard line.
Cornelius hands it off to Swineford on 3rd and 1.
Ronan Swineford, the ball carrier.
Swineford able to get just enough, it looks like, to move the chains. Clock rolling once again. First and 10 for the Scarlet Hawks with less than 1 minute to play. Cornelius now with Milford in victory formation will take the knee. So when you look back on this one for the Scarlet Hawks, again it is the running game doing the bulk of the work. 4 rushing touchdowns in this one for the Scarlet Hawks to go along with that 79-yard touchdown pass to Isaiah Pantalone to open the game. Milford also with terrific defense all night long as well. Nick Arujo, Mason Baldick, Guy St-Thiel, and Guy St-Thiel with 2 sacks as Milford was able to get into the backfield regularly, making life miserable on Vincent Ferrara. Milford with a series of turnovers in this game as well, so impressive once again on all sides of the football as Milford earns their 2nd straight victory to open up this season. The Scarlet Hawks defeat Wellesley by a final score of 34-14. So Milford does indeed improve to 2-0 on the season. And with the loss, Wellesley falls to 500. They are 1-1 on the year, and now preparation begins for Milford's Week 3 battle with the Natick Redhawks that will take place down in Natick coming up on September 23rd. It will be a 6 o'clock kickoff on the road in Natick on the 23rd. So we will not have coverage next week with Milford away from their home field, but again, after next week, it will be 4 straight home games for the Scarlet Hawks, and all of them will come right here on Milford TV as we continue to bring you live streaming coverage on our YouTube page. And again, tune in to the coverage for playback locally on our educational channel on Verizon HD 2140. And as always, you can stream all of our sports coverage anytime on our video on demand platform at vod.milfordtv.net. Well, that will wrap up another edition of Scarlet Hawks Athletics here on Milford TV. A big thank you to our crew on hand for this one tonight. Our director for the game is Jack Marino. Our top cam operator is Patrick Arapi, and our sideline camera operator is Emily Champagne. And I am Tim Coette. That final score one final time. Milford defeats Wellesley by a final score of 34-14. This has been a presentation of Milford High School Athletics here on Milford TV. So long, everybody.